All right, ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing pleasure, from Planned Parenthood, a video called "Is This Normal? Puberty in Intersex and Non-Binary People Explained." So I am super hyped for this. I'm pretty sure we are going to learn a lot. Let's do it.
If you're trans, intersex, or non-binary, know that you're not the only one feeling confused. For some intersex people, puberty may start later than age 14. You might experience some of puberty's changes and not others, and your body may or may not go through puberty on its own.
See, this is what they always like to do. They take something that's a real thing, like intersex. See, this is all we're talking about. These are real medical things that we're talking about here. And then, bam, next thing you know, we're talking about double mastectomies for underage kids and people who are getting their kids taken away because they don't think that their boy is a girl or their girl is a boy. I would say it's a slippery slope, but we've slid down it now. We are at the bottom of the slope, or at least 3/4 of the way down at this point. But sure, let's still pretend like this is some kind of... No, we're being reasonable. We're just talking about intersex people. That's it. All 8 of them in the United States.
There are medicines you can take to help your body start the process, like hormone replacement therapy. Some people decide on hormones or surgeries to help their bodies match up to their gender identity.
See, there it is. They always try to do this ridiculous sleight of hand. No, it's even in the name, intersex and non-binary. As if they always do this, where they put some ridiculous thing like non-binary and gender identity next to something that's real, and try to say, no, it's all in the same spectrum. Everything's a spectrum. It's all a spectrum.
Or how they feel inside about themselves. Your gender identity is real. You should be the one to decide what changes you want to make to your body. If you're transgender or non-binary, you may find that your puberty experiences don't line up with your gender identity, or how you...
That is just gobbledygook, okay? But what I'm more concerned about is this person like part vampire or something? You notice the reflection does not in the slightest match what they're looking at. Is that the point? Is that their artistic point that they're trying to make here? Which if it is, okay. But why does the necklace disappear? Why would the necklace disappear? I don't get it. Maybe if I was a non-binary, I would get it. That constantly pieces of clothing and accessories are just vanishing off my body in reflections because like I said I'm part vampire or something. I don't know. It's just a random observation. But of course they've got pink hair and a choker. That seems pretty common.
You see yourself. That feeling can be uncomfortable, scary, and stressful. If that sounds like you, know that you're not alone. There are medicines...
Man, well that was creepy. Doesn't that seem like we got this weird dude over here? So I'm assuming we're probably supposed to think that this is a woman. Like a teenage woman. Teenage girl. And then just this fully grown black man with a beard. You see, if you look closely, he has a beard. Just walks up and puts his arm around her and like raises an eyebrow. This is very unsettling, Planned Parenthood. Not because he's black. Calm down. I know that's why you made him black. I know, so I couldn't say anything. It's just, it's strange. That's all I'm saying.
There are medicines you can take to delay puberty for a while. They're called puberty blockers, and they work like a stop sign by halting the hormones testosterone and estrogen that cause puberty changes like facial hair growth and periods. Puberty blockers are safe and can give you more time to figure out what feels right for you, your body.
Oh yeah, it's just a stop sign. And then when you're ready to go, you're ready to go. No big deal. We have plenty of long-term studies backing this up. I mean, do you know the mountain of evidence going back 100 years of studies on this? No one's ever regretted it. Totally normal thing. We should actually be putting all children on puberty blockers because If they want to be cis het, they can be. You know, you just pause puberty. And when you realize that you're actually a boy or actually a girl, you just hit play and everything's great. Actually, we should all just be on puberty blockers right now because it's essentially a fountain of youth. I mean, you're just pausing the life cycle. It's amazing. Why aren't they marketing this to everybody? It's a stop sign. It halts the process. Everything is just, we found it. It's the fountain of youth. Brilliant.
And your gender identity. You don't have to have all of the answers right now. So remember, it's all a work in progress, and it may take time to figure out what feels right to you, but talking to a trusted adult and a nurse or doctor may help. Want to learn more? Go to PlannedParenthood.org/teens.
Can you believe it? Anyway, yeah, because you can totally trust all these doctors. I mean, there is no ulterior motive, and they're clearly not insane. So, at least there's that, you know? Yeah, and of course, a trusted adult is only an expert, not your parents. Definitely not your parents. We cannot allow you to talk to your parents about this. But the interesting thing is, you know, now that all this stuff is getting talked about a lot more and this is being exposed about how crazy these people are, they've been doing this stuff for a long time. I mean, this is not by any means a new thing. They've just been hiding it. And suddenly we're starting to pay attention, which really irritates the hell out of them. But look at this. This is a video from 2018. How to teach your kids about gender, also from Planned Parenthood. Yeah, these people just, boy ain't right, you know? Boy ain't right.
How do I talk to my kid about gender? Little kids get ideas about what it means to be a girl or boy from the world around them, from you and from other people in your family, from TV, books, and movies, and from other kids they know. It starts from the moment they're born. Think gender reveal parties, pink nurseries for girls, blue ones for boys, princesses for girls, and superheroes for boys.
I can't think of anything more dangerous than this. We gotta stop this from happening. This is horrific. I mean, girls with pink, boys with blue. I mean, this could be the downfall of Western civilization. It probably contributes to climate change and racism, too. I mean, why not?
There's nothing wrong with blue or pink, but sometimes the toys, books, and words you choose can send the message that there's a right and wrong way for them to be a boy or girl. For example, if only little girls play with princess dolls and only little boys play with superheroes, it sends the message that girls should focus on looking pretty and finding a prince, while boys should focus on fighting and winning.
Yeah, but what if kids just don't think about stuff like that and they just like the things that they like? Because I've seen this before where these woke parents now, their kids, you know, we just allowed them we just had all kinds of toys, you know, because we didn't want to send a message that they had to be any certain thing. And then now they're writing articles in the Washington Post about how to cope with the fact that your little boy likes to play with trucks. Oh, I know. Wait, you're telling me what we've known through all of human history actually is true? That generally 90% of boys and girls are going to like boys and girls things? I mean, this is a revolutionary. Or at the very least, you did something wrong because your boy likes to play with trucks. And that can't be right. That's the patriarchy. That's nuts.
When you pick a new toy or book, or sign your kid up for a new activity, ask yourself these questions. Would I feel comfortable with this if my kid wasn't the gender they are?
What kind of moronic question is that? Would I feel comfortable with this if my kid wasn't the gender they are? Ugh. That means nothing. You've successfully written a sentence with how many words? It's like 12 words, and there's nothing. This might as well have been Joe Biden's speeches from earlier that we were listening to, because this is what are you talking about? One more time. Would I feel comfortable with this if my kid wasn't the gender they are? Why or why not? Straight to jail. Just straight to jail.
Why or why not? Does this expand or limit my kid's expectations of who they could grow up to be? Does my kid already like things like this, or am I picking it because of their gender? Making choices that defy gender stereotypes.
But you're the parent, and your kid is going to play most likely with whatever you give them. Because, I mean, kids play with rocks. This is what happens when a higher education runs amok. Runs amok. It gets you've passed the point of intellectual discussion. You've gone past where it's useful. This no longer is useful. Sure, discuss this with your gender studies professor if you're dumb enough to take that class, but leave it there. This is nonsense.
Stereotypes can help your kid grow up feeling like their gender won't limit what they can do with their lives. And that's a good thing if we want to live in a world where everyone has a shot at achieving their dreams.
But first of all, they don't. Example, if you are a boy and you have dreams of one day carrying a child in your uterus, that dream is not going to come true, okay? That's not going to happen, ever. And if you're a girl and you have dreams of, I don't know, standing up while you pee, well, I mean, I guess you can do that. It's just not going to be as efficient as when men do it, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about.
The idea is to make sure that whether your daughter dreams of being a firefighter, a scientist, or a parent, and whether your son dreams...
Do not set up your daughter to have the expectation of being a firefighter. Because you know who wins in that situation? Nobody. And I'm pretty sure the guy who is passed out in his house because of smoke inhalation because of the fire, when he's dying because this woman can't drag his fat ass out, he's not going to be happy about it either. He's going to, what? Well, why did you send her in? This is stupid. It's just not practical. But sure, let the fat man die in the name of equality. Progress.
Of being a teacher, a parent, or a professional athlete, that they feel loved and supported in following what they're passionate about. So give them choices, follow their interests, and let their imaginations lead the way.
You know, they talk an awful lot about love and support and accepting your kids for who they are and all this nonsense. But I'm pretty sure we have very different ideas of what that looks like. Because I would think loving and supporting your child would be that if your kid comes home from school, and elementary school, and starts talking about how the teacher just told me that boys can be girls and girls can be boys, so now I feel like the opposite gender, the way to love and support that child is you look them right dead in the eye and you say, absolutely not. And then maybe you kick his ass. And then you go kick the teacher's ass. Someone's ass needs to get kicked. That's my point, I guess. My definition of love and support means that sometimes somebody gets their ass kicked. That's just... I learned that from Hank Hill. That was on King of the Hill, all right? Sometimes something so asinine happens that someone's got to get their ass kicked, all right? And right now, it needs to be Planned Parenthood or whoever's been involved in making these videos. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.